Good morning and Sai Ram. In previous video we have done Newton's first law of motion and Newton's second law of motion. In this video we are going to study Newton's third law of motion. Before going to start Newton's third law of motion, what we are going to do? We will do a quick revision of Newton's first law of motion and second law of motion. Let us start with the Newton's first law of motion. First law stated that if, let us take your force, total force, that means your force net is equal to 0. In that case, your acceleration, that means your total acceleration is also 0. If your total force is 0, applied force is 0, in that case your acceleration is also 0. In that case your velocity will be constant. This is a mathematical expression for your first law of motion. What else? If your force applied is 0, in that case your acceleration will be 0. If your acceleration will be 0, there is no change in the velocity. That means if an object is in a motion, it will remain in a motion, and if an object in a rest, that object will remain at rest until and unless you will not apply some external force on that object. Clear? This is your first law of motion. What is your first law of motion? First law of motion is, if a body is in a motion, it will try to remain in a motion, or if a body is at rest, a body will try to remain at a rest until and unless you will not apply some external force to that body. Clear? Now, what is Newton's second law? Newton's second law states that force is equal to mass into acceleration. Basically, your second law gives a formula how you can calculate force. What is the formula of force? Mass into acceleration. So you can say that Newton's second law stated that force is a product of mass and acceleration. Force is a product of mass and acceleration. With this, I think Newton's first and second law is clear to you. Let us start with the Newton's third law of motion. Let us start with the Newton's third law of motion. Topics to be covered in this video are: number 1, Newton's third law of motion. Number 1, Newton's third law of motion. Some example of Newton's third law of motion. We will do some application based on Newton's third law of motion. And the last topic is conservation of momentum. Last topic is conservation of momentum. Clear? Newton's third law of motion. This is very famous law. Okay, to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. It is very easy. To every action there is equal and opposite reaction. What it means? What it indicates? Tell me fast. It means that whenever take one example. This is one body. Clear? Whenever a body, two bodies are here. If this body will exert some force on this body also exert same equal force to this body. Clear? So with this we can say that to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. To every action there is equal and opposite reaction. Clear? Some points are here. Number 1, according to Newton's third law of motion, whenever one body exerts a force on another body, I gave you an example. See, if two bodies are here, if this body will exert some force to this body. Clear? Now this is your second body. This body also exert an equal and opposite force. What they will exert? they will exert an equal and opposite force to this body. Clear? So with this we can say that according to Newton's third law of motion, whenever one body exerts a force on another body, whenever one body exerts a force on another body, the second body exerts an equal and opposite force on the first body. Clear this thing? Now, second point is the force exerted by the first body on the second body is known as action. What it is known as? It is known as action. Which force is known as action? The force which is applied by the first body to the second body. Clear? What is your action force here? The action force over here. See, this is your first body. This is your second body. Now, this is your first and this is your second. Now, whatever force applied by this body to this body, that force is known as your action force. That force is known as your action force. And whatever force applied by the second body to the first body is known as your reaction force. Is known as your reaction force. This is clear to you. The force applied by the first body, the force applied by the first body is known as your action force, and the force applied by the second body is known as your reaction force. It is very clear to you what is action force and what is reaction force. Shall we move ahead? Clear. Now take this example. Now in picture you can see that there are two springs, spring A and spring B. How many springs are there? Two springs. Clear? Now we take two similar springs, balance A and balance B. Clear? Now join them hook to hook. Now what we will do? We will join them by hook to hook. The other end of spring balance B is attached to the hook edge. This is one hook you will attach to one another and second will attach to some wall. You can say one hook is in the wall. With this you can connect, and with this the second hook of balance A, that means this, you will hold it by your hand. How you will hold it? You will hold it by the hand. Now let us pull the free end. This end is free. Now start pulling from this side. Clear? What will happen? Think and tell me. We find that both the spring balance show the same reading. Both see here, 4 Newton and 4 Newton. Clear? Both the spring balance show the same reading. With the help of this example, we can say that every action has equal and opposite reaction. So how this take place? See, when we pull the balance A, what we will do? When we pull balance A, it exerts a force of 4 Newton on balance B. What this will exert? It will exert force of 4 Newton. Clear? On balance B. Clear? Now the balance B pulls the balance A with an equal force of 4 Newton. An equal force of 4 Newton, but in the opposite direction. Clear? You all know that force is a vector quantity. It has some direction. So it will pull in the opposite direction of 4 Newton. In other words, when balance A exert a force of action on balance B, then balance B exert an equal and opposite force of reaction on balance A. Clear? This is your force of reaction and this is your force of action. Clear? So since the spring balance show the same reading, we conclude that the action and reaction force are equal in magnitude. With the help of this example, we can say that the action and reaction force are equal. I think this is very clear to you. There is no doubt. See, with the help of these spring example, I think everything is very clear to you. That means your action force is equal to your reaction force. So we can say Newton's third law also action reaction law, because it is totally based on action and reaction. Clear? Action and reaction acts on two different bodies. Clear? Now our topic is action and reaction acts on two different bodies. What you have to take for this? You suppose a box is resting on the ground. This is the box and it is resting on the ground. The box is exerting a downward force on it of its weights on the ground. This box exerts some force to the ground. This box will exert some force to the ground. Why? Because that box is having some weight. Clear? The downward weight of the box is balanced by an equal and opposite force applied by the ground. This. Clear? Now, the force exerted by the weight of the box is known as your action force. What is your action force? The force exerted by the box due to its weight is known as your action force. What is the reaction force? The force exerted by the ground. The force exerted by the ground is your reaction force. It is clear to you? Now, what we will do some example of third law of motion. That means application of third law of motion. Some application. First, how do we walk? Clear? How do we walk is totally based on our Newton's third law of motion. How do we walk is totally based upon our Newton's third law of motion. Now, when we walk on the ground, then our foot pushes the ground backward. See, in this picture, this man is walking. When this man is walking, this man foot push some force to the ground, and the ground pushes our foot forward. Clear? Now the forward reaction exerted by the ground on our foot make us walk forward. If that ground will not give us to reaction force, we will not able to walk. So how do we walk? First, our foot push the ground in backward direction, and due to this force, that ground will push our foot towards a forward direction, and due to this phenomena we can able to walk. Now, if however the ground is slippery or there is an all ice, it becomes very difficult to walk. Why? Because that slippery portion, or due to ice, there is a less force of friction. If there is a less force of friction, that means reaction force is less. Clear? And that is why we are find difficulty to walk in slippery area or in ice area. Clear? I am reading once more. Listen carefully. When we walk on the ground, then our foot pushes the ground backward, and in return, the ground pushes our foot forward. The forward reaction exerted by the ground on our foot make us walk forward. If, however, the ground is slippery or there is all ice, it becomes very difficult to walk. This is due to the fact that on the slippery ground or ice, the friction is much less, and due to the less friction, we find difficulty to walk. Clear? Now, second example is in the case of swimmer. In the case of swimmer. Now, when you swim, what happened? A swimmer pushed the water backwards. What will happen? If this girl is swimming, that means this girl push the water in the backward direction. Now, this water gives a reaction force, and due to this, that swimmer will able to move in a forward direction in the water. I am reading this slide, listen carefully. A swimmer pushes the water backward with his hand and fit to move in a forward direction in water. It is equal and opposite reaction to the force which pushes the swimmer forward. Clear? Through action and reaction forces are equal in magnitude, but they don't produce equal acceleration in two bodies on which they act. This is because the two bodies on which action reaction force act actually have a different masses. See what it means. Although your action and reaction force are equal in magnitude, but it is not compulsory that they will produce equal acceleration. If your mass is more, the acceleration produced by the force is low as compared to those objects which are having less mass. That means, for example, there are two boxes. This box weight is 10 kg and this box is having a weight of 5 kg. And in both cases, you are applying 5 Newton force. This box will shift more as compared to this. Why? Because for this, if you want to move in the same amount, what you will do, you have to apply the more force because its mass is more. And your force depends up. In the second law, you have done that your force is directly proportional to mass. If your mass is more, you require more force. Okay? If your mass is more, you require more force. So, what is our second point? Due to this, those mass who's having less mass show the more acceleration as compared to those which are having a more mass. Clear? I am reading once. Through action and reaction forces are equal in magnitude, but they don't produce equal acceleration in two bodies in which they act. This is because the two bodies on which action and reaction forces act usually have different masses. So the acceleration produced will be more in the body having less mass, whereas acceleration produced will be less in the body having a more mass. Clear? Now, third, and it is very important to the exam point of view. Now, why the gun recoils? Recoil means if you will use gun and if you want to shoot anything, you will feel jerk on your hand, and that jerk is known as your recoiling of gun. Now, how it take place? When a bullet is fired from a gun, the force sending bullet forward is equal to the force sending the gun backward. Clear? What? When a bullet is fired from a gun, the force sending the bullet forward. If you will fire a gun, what will happen? That whatever force you applied, that force applied to go a bullet forward direction. But that bullet also applied some force to our hand. But that is very less amount, and due to that, you will feel a little bit jerk on your hand. So our first point is, when a bullet is fired from a gun, the force sending the bullet forward is equal to the sending the gun backward. Due to high mass of the gun, it moves only a little distance backward and gives a backward jerk or kick to the shoulder of the gunman. the gun is said to be have recoiled. I think all the application is very clear to you. One more application is there, the flying of jet aeroplanes and rockets. The flying of jet aeroplanes and rocket. Jet aeroplane utilize the principle of action and reaction. Jet aeroplane utilize the principle of action and reaction. In the modern jet aircrafts, the hot gases obtained by the rapid burning of fuel rushes out of the jet at the rear end of the aircraft. At a great speed, the equal and opposite reaction of the backward going gases push the aircraft for wind at a great speed. The rocket also works. See, that jet aeroplanes, that fuel gives you a what? Reaction force. Okay. Now, rocket also work on the same principle. Hot gases produce a rapid burning, and due to this, what? That gases will give you a reaction force, and due to which rockets moves at a very high speed. The equal and opposite reaction forces of downward going gases push and the rocket upward with a great speed. Clear this thing? So how many application we have done? We have done 4 application. How many application we have done? We have done 4 application, which is totally based upon Newton's third law of motion. That means action reaction force. Number 1, how do we walk? Number 2, our swimming. Number 3, recoiling of gun. Number 4, how aeroplane work and how a jet, and you can say a rocket fly. Clear with this thing? I think third law of motion is very clear to you. Now our last topic is conservation of momentum. What is our last topic? Our last topic is conservation of momentum. Now what we are going to do? We are going to study conservation of momentum. This is our last topic of this chapter. This is the last topic of this chapter. So let us start. See, in the second law of motion, we have done that the moving body possesses some momentum, and which is equal to the product of mass and velocity. We have done momentum. P is equal to mass into velocity. Clear? Now we will take one example to understand the meaning of the term conservation of momentum. What we are going to do? We will take one example. By the help of this example, we are going to understand the meaning of conservation of momentum. Suppose a speeding truck hits a stationary car. Suppose, instead of truck, you can say that you are having 2 bodies. Body first and body second. Now, due to which that first body, now this first body applies some force to the second body. Now, due to the force exerted by the first body to the second body, this body will start moving. Clear? Now, in this collision, the velocity of first body decreases, but the velocity of first body increases. Now, this I will explain once more. See, this body is first body, and this body is your second body. Now this body is having some we are applying some force to it, and this body starting moving. Now when this body collide with the second body, the velocity of this body will decrease. Why? Because now this body is also there, but the velocity of this body will increase. Why? Because now firstly it is at rest, now it start moving. Clear? It has been found that increase in the momentum of second body is equal to the decrease of the momentum of second body, first body. Clear? And so that there is no loss of momentum in the collision, and the momentum lost by the first body has been gained by the second body, and this is an illustration of the law of conservation of momentum. Clear? Now what it means that if you are having two bodies and they will collide with each other, there is no loss of momentum, because the amount of velocity decreased by the first body is equal to the amount of velocity increased by the second body. Clear? Now we will do what? Derivation. Clear? So when two or more bodies act upon one another, then in the absence of an external force, the total momentum of all the bodies of a system in a particular direction remains constant. This is your law of conservation of momentum. This is very important. And this derivation comes for 5 marks in the exam. Okay. Now, take two bodies having mass m1 and m2. Initial their velocity is u1 and u2. Initial their velocity is u1 and u2. This is the scenario before collision. This is the scenario here before collision. After some time, they will collide, and when mass m1 and body 1 and body 2 collide with each other, their velocity will change. I told you now, if they will collide, first body will decrease the momentum, and if momentum will decrease, the velocity will decrease, and second will increase. So the velocity will be changed. So the final velocity after collision will v1 and v2. So let their bodies having mass m1 and m2 and their velocity be u1 and u2 before collision, and after collision it is v1 and v2. Clear? Initial momentum of the body of mass m1 is, momentum is mass into velocity. Here what is your mass? Mass is m1 and velocity is u1. So it is m1 u1. Clear? In second case, initial momentum of mass of body having mass 2 is same. Here your mass is m2 and velocity is u2. So it is m2 or u2. Clear? So it is initial momentum of body mass m is m1 u1 and initial momentum of body mass 2 is m2 and u2. Clear? Total momentum. How you will find total momentum? You will add momentum of both the bodies. That means you will add m1 u1 plus m2 u2. What you will do? You will add both the momentum. Clear? Final momentum of a body mass m1 is equal to, again, momentum is equal to mass into velocity. Here what is your mass? m1. Clear? Velocity is v1. So it is m1 v1. Clear? And total momentum after collision is, and for the second body it is m2 v2. So total momentum after collision is m1 v1 plus m2 v2. Clear? Now I told you that body 1 exert a force of action, and that is forces F12 on a body. Instead of F12 you can take anything, F1, F2, F3. Okay, exert a force. Body 2, reaction is F2. Action force is here F12. This is your action force F12 and reaction force is F21. Clear? Now this space is very clear to you. Any doubt? If you are having any doubt, you can call me. Now take two conditions. When the force F12 of the body 1 acts on the body 2 from time t. Clear? Then the velocity of car changes from u2 to v2. So acceleration of body 2 is equal to v2 minus u2. Change in acceleration upon time. Acceleration का formula क्या होता है? Change in velocity upon time. So here change in velocity is v2 minus u2 upon t. Here we know that F is equal to mass into acceleration. Here mass is m2 and A is v2 minus u2 upon t. So this is your first equation. This is your first equation. When the force, now in the second case, your reaction force is F21. Now this react on a body for a time t, then the velocity of body 1 changes from u1 to v1. So acceleration of body 1 is equal to a1 v1 minus u1 upon t. Clear? Same here, you know that F is equal to m into a. Here m1 and acceleration is v1 minus u1 upon t. This is your second equation. Now we all know that action and reaction force are equal. So your F, here F12 and F21 आएगा. F12 is equal to minus F21. Why minus here? Because it is your reaction force. If it is in a positive, it will be in a negative, because your force is a vector quantity. This page is clear to you? Shall we move ahead? Now putting the values. If you will put m2 is equal to v2 minus u2 upon t and is equal to m1 v1 minus u1 upon t, what will happen? This t will cancel, and m2 v2 minus u2 m1 v1 minus u1. Clear? Now if you will multiply this m to this bracket, m to this with this bracket, and you will multiply this m1 with this bracket. Clear? What you will get? You will get m2 v2 minus m2 u2 is equal to m1 v1 plus m1 u1. Now take this v on one side and this u on one side. What you will get? You will get total momentum before collision is equal to total momentum after collision. Clear? Any doubt? If you are having any doubt, you can message me. I can prepare a separate video for the conservation of momentum once more. Clear? Now what we will do? We will do some numerical based on these. What we will do? We will do some numerical based on these. See, a bullet of mass 10 gram is fired from a gun of mass 6 kg with a velocity of 300 meter per second. What you have to calculate? You have to calculate recoil velocity of the gun. Now mass of the bullet is 10 gram. If you will convert into kg, what you will get? 0.01 kg, because in 1 gram how many kilogram is there? 1 by 1000. Clear? Mass of a gun is 6 kg. So recoil velocity of gun is equal to mass of a bullet is equal to mass of a velocity upon mass of a gun into recoil of the gun. Just put the value, you will got the answer. Clear? The above. Now you have to find, now momentum of the bullet is equal to mass of the bullet into mass of the velocity of a bullet. Clear? It is 3 kilogram, and momentum of the gun is equal to mass of a gun into recoil velocity of a gun. According to conservation of momentum, see both what? Momentum of bullet is equal to momentum of gun. So momentum of bullet is equal to 3 kg and momentum of gun is equal to 6 into v. Clear? And what is the value of v? V is equal to 3 upon 6 meter per second. Second numerical. The car A of mass 1500 kg travelling at 25 meter per second collides with another car B mass of 100 kg travelling. See, first you are having two cars. First car is a mass of 1500 kg and second is 1000 kg. Velocity of first car is 25 meter per second and second is 15 meter per second. Now this is condition before the collision. After collision, what will happen? They will collide. Now I told you that if they will collide, the speed of first car will decrease and this will increase. Now you have to calculate V2. Clear? So momentum of car A. You know that mass into velocity, just put the value of mass and velocity. What you will get? You will get the momentum of car A. Similarly, you have to find momentum of car B. Mass into velocity. What is the mass? 100. 1000 into 15. That means 15,000 kilogram meter per second. After collision, the velocity of car A of mass 1500 kg becomes 20 meter per second. So after collision, what is your momentum? 1500 into 20. Clear? 30,000 kilogram meter per second. You have to find what? You have to find V2. So momentum of car is equal to 1000 into V. So, and you know that before collision is equal to after collision. Just put, this is your total momentum after collision, before collision, and this is the total momentum before collision. Just put the value, you will get the answer. With this, I think conservation of momentum numerical is very clear to you. If you are having any doubt, you can message me. I will prepare one more video based on conservation of momentum. Thank you and have a nice day.